Let's ask a law enforcement expert. Joining me on the program, retired police commander and the host of the Profiling Evil podcast, Mike King. Mike, good morning. Wonderful to see you as always. Tell us what you think about this. Could there be truth to this?
You know, I think anything's possible anymore, Julie, and I guess we have to look at this and really pick it apart, and it's going to be interesting to see how the prosecution responds and how law enforcement and the investigators respond. But I go back to my early days as a young detective and testifying on the stand, and how upset I was when the defense said what a rotten guy I was. And I remember the prosecutors saying, hey, this is a great tactic to take people away from the actual facts of the case. But holy cow, they're introducing some things that seem to have some fact backing it up. So the question is going to be, is it explainable?
Right. Mike, something I'm wondering about. We know this case was so hush-hush from the outset, and we still don't know very important things, those of us in the public, like, for instance, just how were these girls murdered? This hasn't come from police. We're hearing this coming from the defense. Police kept it quiet. We didn't know anything about a murder weapon until, long after Richard Allen was in jail. His house was searched, and then they say, well, the children were killed with a sharp object, but there wasn't much more than that put out there. There was no information as to whether they were sexually assaulted. I always wondered about that. Could it be that police held back those important details because of what the defense is saying in their motion about these alleged murdering Odinists being responsible?
Well, I take into account maybe the morality of that local law enforcement agency and the state in that area of Indiana. And I think, number one, it's just kind that they don't share how brutal these crime scenes can be. I hope that we don't, as a public, end up viewing these images in one way or another, even if they're blurred out or something, because what they're describing is absolutely horrendous. Does it point to ritualism? I'm not sure I'm there yet, Julie, and it's going to be interesting to see the actual kind of placement of things. But, you go back to the early days of, like, Jack the Ripper in the 1800s, and the way people were describing those crime scenes and how horrific they are. That's what we're dealing with.
I appreciate it, Mike. Commander King, we love having you on the show, and we are going to take you into our next hour.